Guys, welcome to Dine at Home. I think it's week 23 now, so in fact I'm going to stop saying the weeks because I'm struggling to keep up. So I think it's week 23, but anyway, welcome to the Dine at Home cook along, guys. As always, any newcomers, first of all, you have your beautiful milk bread loaf, that's tear and share with your Marmite butter. Obviously, as soon as your box arrives, guys, take that out as per usual, allow it to come to room temperature. Your bread will take around about 5 minutes to sort of reheat and replenish. I don't know what that was. It takes about 5 minutes to reheat and replenish, so obviously get on with that straight away. But with this week, I would 100% serve your bread with your starter. Okay, so please don't just dive in straight away and get the Marmite butter on there and eat it all gone. Make sure you save it for the starter, which is a posh way of saying potted duck actually. So it's a beautiful duck, confit duck rillette. As you can see, I've put a even more beautiful duck fat and butter infused with thyme, garlic, black peppercorn on top, just to sort of set up proper old school, just to set on top. So when you sort of go into there, in fact I'll break it for you on the camera, but when you go in there, the duck rillette's underneath. And obviously the butter's on top with your bread, and then you pick up pickled radish and mustard mayonnaise and your potato salad. What a starter. So that one, guys, please pull that out of the fridge about an hour before you sit down, okay? And don't put it anywhere cold, put it somewhere room temperature, because it needs that time to relax, it needs that time to come to room temperature, so it's easy for your fork or knife to obviously get it onto your bread. So potato salad, we have very lightly seasoned this with a bit of salt, so if you want to get a bit more obviously flavour, put a bit more salt in there. Equally, we put some parsley and some extra virgin olive oil in there as well. You also have a beautiful Dijon or French grey mustard mayonnaise and some pickled breakfast radishes as well. So there's nothing really to do, guys, other than making sure that your rillette or your potted duck is out of the fridge nice and early. That is to share between 2 people. So obviously when you come to plating, make sure you do sort of split it. I would personally recommend popping it in the middle of the table, so each of you sort of dive in there at once. But getting it together, guys, is so easy. If you do want to spoon it onto the plate, obviously it's up to you as well. So this is between 2 people, so I'll put that into a little mixing bowl, or ideally you can obviously mix it in this quite large container here if you would like to. I'm just going to pop a little bit more malt and sea salt on there, because as I said, I have only lightly seasoned it. Also a little bit of extra virgin olive oil as well, so adds that beautiful sort of flavour to it as well. So mix those all up, and then for your mustard mayonnaise, it's up to this plate, it's totally to you, as long as you get each element onto each sort of breadful, if you will, it'll be absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to pop my grey mustard mayonnaise right in the bottom. I'm going to make a little sort of circle of that. Super strong as well, so you don't need to go too heavy on that. I'm going to put my potato salad right on the top. Beautiful. Nice. And then pickled radish again. Sort of jump that. Beautiful. And then with your potted duck, which is on here, so I'll paste this over here for you. So you've got your little garnish, you've got your beautiful potted duck, and then make sure you serve this all with your bread. And what I promise I'll do is I'll break into that duck for you, so you can see what's underneath. This butter is a little bit firm for what I would serve it with, but obviously I've just got it out of the fridge to serve you, but if I go in there, you'll see all that underneath. Look at that. It absolutely loads. That's the potted duck with your beautiful duck fat butter, obviously your country milk loaf with your grain mustard mayonnaise, potato salad seasoned with extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of parsley, and your pickled radish, guys. Enjoy! Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed your starter. On to your main course, which is the return of your beautiful Highland venison, which we have a shoulder, obviously here, that we brine for 24 hours and then cook for 24 hours as well in the water bath. And equally our beautiful faggot venison as well, which we just roasted on the outside. That's also still sort of raw in the centre, so make sure that gets cooked. You only need about 8 to 10 minutes in the oven, it's absolutely fine. Beautiful rich venison sauce, healthy pot of kale, that's between 2 people, that's washed, so it will be a little bit wet inside. A little pot of celeriac Buttered celery puree, that's for one person, and then a beautiful beetroot ketchup as well, which will really cut through the venison. And to accompany that, you have a beautiful beef fat beetroot as well. It's been water bath in beef fat, absolutely delicious. So guys, this week is actually super simple to reheat. So it's very simple. You whack your venison and your faggot onto your tray. Just trying to find some greaseproof paper. There we go. So greaseproof paper on the bottom if you haven't got a non-stick pan. Then with your beautiful faggot, pop that on as well. And then with your beef fat beetroot, quite a mouthful, pull that out and actually put that there as well. And it's quite a beautiful big piece of beef fat beetroot on there as well. And then with a little bit of butter on top of your venison and your faggot as well. That's a bit of richness, steak night, as I always say. If you would, nice little trick, you've got quite a lot of venison sauce there. A nice little trick is if you want to put a little nugget of venison sauce on top of the venison shoulder as well. You'll just intensify it slightly as well. But again, if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. Butter will be absolutely perfect for that as well. A little bit of salt on top of the venny, a little bit of salt on top of the faggot, and then on top of the beetroot as well. And it's super simple. That straight in the oven, guys, for about 10 to 12 minutes. Make sure it's nice and hot. Obviously, the beetroot and faggot will be absolutely fine. Make sure the shoulders, it should always be falling apart. And for 10 to 12 minutes. And in the meantime, pop your sauce, obviously, in a little pan to heat up. Your beetroot ketchup is enjoyed at room temperature. Your puree is in the microwave to heat through, and then your kale straight into a little show pot which I've got boiling water, straight out, a little bit of seasoning, that's all it needs to happen. So we'll see you in about 10 to 12 minutes later. Okay guys, so there is 1 minute left on my oven. That's obviously put on for 10 minutes, so it's had 9 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I've just heated up my celery puree in the microwave for 30 seconds. I'm just going to drop my kale now in boiling water. That's all I'm going to do, no salt. I like to add the salt afterwards, so I'm just going to do 1 portion of kale in there. This is about a portion. So pop that in there for all of between 30 to 60 seconds, depending on if you like your sort of texture on your kale. I quite like a little bit of texture as well, so I've got my little tray with some J-cup on. There's the oven. So that is 10 minutes now for our venison, as you can see, all nicely roasted. The venison itself is really starting to really soft. It will almost fall away as I'm seeing pushing down that. The faggot's beautiful and cooked. It's got a nice bounce back as well to prove that it's not overcooked. It's just nicely cooked. And the beetroot itself is just absolutely delicious, cooked in that beef fat as well as the right hand side. That's pretty much ready to go. We've just got my stove is on for my sauce, so I'll put my sauce on now. I'm happy with the kale, so I'll just drain that off very gently. Just have a little basket. And always put a tiny bit here. I'll put some butter or some extra virgin olive oil on top. A little sprinkling of more sea salt. Gives that beautiful sheen and shine to the kale as well. So there's my celery puree. This is for one person, so I'll probably pretty much use all of that. Beautiful velvety. So basically we burnalisette, which is basically make the butter into sort of a brown, sort of caramelised butter just before we start roasting the celery after the puree. It just gives it this beautiful sort of nuttiness that works so well with the venison. So next is your beetroot ketchup. This is absolutely delicious, that as well. Super acidic, but it's got a nice earthiness as well from the beetroot itself. Just use beetroot juice, that's it. Super simple. Okay, so be careful getting that, well, the shoulder is so. Be careful getting the shoulder off the. Okay, well that's. Do some decent greaseproof paper when you do it, guys, because this is absolutely shocking. So as you can see, it's super soft. It's pretty much all falling apart. So not exactly a bad thing, but it'd be quite useful if you kept it together. And that's proof it doesn't always go well on camera. Make a good thing out of a shit situation. So there's the faggot on there as well, and a nice, beautiful, it's a massive piece of beetroot. Struggling where to put that right across there. So here my sauce in the background, nicely reduced down as well. And then with your kale, as always, I'll just pick these beautiful pieces. I'm going to cover up my venison shoulder a little bit more than I normally would, just because it's falling apart. But its proof is in the pudding. And that's clearly beautiful and soft. So I'll sauce all that. Sauce around the outside as well. Don't forget to sauce a little bit in the faggot. And there we are, guys. Look at that, it's absolutely delicious, that was. So you've got a beautiful, extremely soft braised venison shoulder with your venison faggot, beef fat beetroot, beetroot ketchup, celeriac puree, and then your beautiful autumnal kale with just lightly seasoned with some extra virgin olive oil and some sea salt. Guys, enjoy that main course, I'm sure you will, and hopefully you get a better look with your little shoulder than I did. I'll see you for the dessert in a minute. Okay guys, so hopefully you enjoyed your main course. Apologies again for the greaseproof paper. I won't buy that stuff again. It's proof to say that don't buy shit cheap greaseproof paper. So, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Nice and soft. We've just eaten it and I thought it was absolutely delicious. One of the nicest main courses we've done, to be fair. So, on to dessert, and it's the return of the treacle tart. I absolutely love treacle tart. I would recommend, guys, we haven't refrigerated this at all, so again it is nice and soft. It should turn to you at a decent sort of texture and temperature. If you would like to put it straight in the fridge, obviously more than welcome. If you want to keep it at a room temperature, that's absolutely fine as well. But I would recommend just popping it into the oven. I wouldn't put it in the microwave because it'll make the base and everything a bit soggy. And when you put it in the oven, it'll actually crispen up the base a little bit more as well. So I'd recommend popping it in the oven for all of 3 to 5 minutes. And it just sort of gently softens that inner a little bit more as well. We've made a beautiful fig and apple, brandy apple compote. So we basically pureed some figs and then I've baked some brandy apples and then just combined the two. Super simple. It is quite smooth for a compote, but the flavour is absolutely delicious, getting a real nice acidity. It's always quite strange with the treacle tart because in essence I just love a treacle tart on its own, but we obviously want to make it into a dish. So I always think that a little bit of acidity and a bit of creaminess, which it obviously is missing, it's just so rich in sugar. I think this dish works really, really well. And then we've also made some, it's the first time I've ever made this, it's fig leaf ice cream. And the fig leaves themselves were picked by our very own John Tooby. And we basically infused into the milk for 24 hours overnight, just obviously just in the fridge. And we made the ice cream based on the milk. And it's absolutely delicious. It's got almost like a marzipan-y sort of coconut sort of flavour. It's definitely something we'll use again. It's perfectly in season now as well, so it's nice to use those in season ingredients. So on to plating. I'm not going to put the treacle tart in the oven for you because obviously it's just showing you how to plate. But I've done this before, I'll just put a little dot of the compote on the bottom of your plate, and what that enables the tart to stop sort of spinning around, so just stick nice as that one side there. And then again, I've given you so much compote. I mean, to be fair, it'd be nice on toast or porridge or something the next day. So I'm just going to put a little spoon to the right hand side and make it a little well. Very simply, because it's a light flavour, I'm just going to very simply. You'll obviously have your ice cream plush. I'm going to serve it straight out of the container, which has just freshly been churned. And I'll just literally just serve a beautiful plush, or in this case, rocher of ice cream right next to it. Just like that. And then honestly guys, that couldn't be much more simpler and delicious. A beautiful play with the treacle tart. It's a freshly baked treacle tart with your fig and brandy apple compote and your fig leaf ice cream on top. And yeah guys, I think that'll go down an absolute treat, to be quite honest. Talking about treats, this week is our first one of a fruit and nut, and it literally tastes just like Cadbury's fruit and nut bar. No word of a lie. Milk chocolate is absolutely delicious. It's another Michael Blade special. So guys, enjoy that with your tea and coffee. And again, as always, thank you so much to every single one of you who have purchased a box this week. I think we've still got a couple available. So please, if you like what you see and you haven't got any plans for the weekend or you're struggling for food options, give our box a try. And honestly, you won't be disappointed with this week's menu at all. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a fantastic weekend, and yeah, God bless you all. Dine at home.